I don't hear you on YouTube. I don't hear you on YouTube. Go ahead.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Gonna do a quick sound check and we're gonna get going.
Nah, I don't hear you on YouTube. Anybody on YouTube? I don't hear shit. I don't hear me neither. I don't hear you on YouTube. I hear me now. I don't hear you though. I don't hear you on YouTube. Go ahead. 1 2 1 2. Okay, there you go. Quick sound check. We're gonna get.
All right, there I go. All right, so yeah, so this Discord live.
Anybody on YouTube?
We good?
All right, we good.
Yeah, this Discord live, man. Make sure I hit the like button and share. Yeah. This is our Discord. What we do with the villains in the membership, but every now and then we go live, so you can see what's going on in there. If you want to be a part of it, man, just you hit the link. I'll put the link in the description or the link at the top of the Twitter. The link everywhere. Hit the link and become a villain. We're gonna get in here and talk about Damian Martinez, one of the top prospects in the transfer portal, probably the top running back in the transfer portal. 194 carries, 1,185 yards, 9 touchdowns last year. Boy, averaged 6 yards a carry. So either they're not playing any defense over there. Miami just picked up a really good back. In the Discord, I think we got maybe 20 people in here. Let me unveil them, boys. And we're gonna talk and kind of get everybody's thoughts on Damian Martinez. I'm sure everybody don't watch this film by now. We dropped the Black Santa about an hour ago because we got another one coming. And he also picked up Louisville's linebacker. Seemed like Coach Nick bringing all his kids over here, right, Kyle?
Mm-hmm. You got too many nephews coming.
Yeah, nepotism going on. His nephews. Let me see. Yeah, I see NMD Grant dropped the highlight on Twitter. But now we're gonna get in here and talk about that. So Damien, let me see. Yeah, Damian Martinez, 6 foot, 232 pounds. Who's the last running back we had that was 232 pounds?
Mark Fletcher.
How much Fletcher weigh? Let's see.
How much Fletcher weigh, Villans?
Let's see.
About 222.
Oh, you said 222?
So they're about 10 pounds bigger than that.
What about Gus?
No, how big was Mark Walton and
not even close.
What about Franklin?
No, Mark Walton.
That was a running back.
It got to be Gus Edwards or
David Thad. Somebody had just said Franklin.
So fair that.
That one 32.
And there was another running back that was with that. He was real solid.
No, it had to be Thad Franklin, right?
That one.
Yeah, we had another back that was
like
with
220.
him that
Gus
went
is-
undrafted.
Gus is 238 pounds.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking Gus Edwards. I'm thinking.
How big was Cody Brown?
Oh, they say Thad 6 foot, 235 pounds. He just ran like he was 210.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he just ran.
He ran like 198.
Yeah, exactly.
So Thad was Thad was 230. So yeah, Damian Martinez 6', 230. How many carries he had? I would like to compare his carries. He had 194 carries. Mark Fletcher last year had 105 carries. You see, that's I'm sure Mark Fletcher led us in carries last year. Y'all think? I don't think it was Henry Parrish.
Yeah, as the season went on, I think he did. Yeah, you're right.
Henry Parrish had 100 carries, so this thing was even. Like they both right. And between the two, they had about the same amount of yards as Damian Martinez had. What does that tell us? Anybody? Like, what did that tell us?
That if those guys had the guys that we have had got the same amount of carries, production would be similar.
Right, something like that, right? Anybody else?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So 194 comes up if it's a 12-game season. It's like 16 carries a game, something like that.
So yeah, so we lose Chaney, we lose Parrish, 2 veteran running backs, and then we bring in a veteran running back that kind of have their production. It's almost like we traded like the same production, but we get a veteran running back because we didn't have one. That's the bottom line. Our veteran running back left, we didn't have them, and we get a veteran running back. But what's your thoughts on Damien Martinez? Anybody?
For me, I saw the tape. I'm not against Damien Martinez. Let me say that. I saw the tape, but I just didn't. I just don't see the special stuff. I see the big guy. I see the pounder. I kind of see. If we're gonna replace Fletcher, then okay, it's like we replaced him with another Fletcher, I guess. But I didn't see anything that was just like exciting, sticks out to me. Like that's the guy. Like I don't know. I didn't see it. Like the numbers you said, right? The carries that our other guys got is kind of like the same production.
Right.
So I don't know. We got a starter. That's all I can say. I don't see the wow factor. That's just me personally. I think the Villans probably see more tape than I have though.
Oh, you've seen the same tape they seen. They see more tape, like they got access to huddle or some shit. like they got the all 22 tape or some shit.
Nah, I just don't. I don't really watch it like that. I have to go back and I go look at highlight tapes and blah blah blah. But these guys, they probably watch some games. It's different from watching highlights and then watching the game or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe these guys got something more that I don't. But I've been saying from the start, I don't. Yeah, I just didn't see the wow factor in adding Martinez. So.
So based off what we lost, though, what we didn't gain with him, though, is we gained pass protection. That's his weakness.
That's his weakness. What is scouting report at? What?
Pass protection.
that's his weakness.
Yeah,
Seriously, that's his weakness. Seriously,
you too big. That.
Why do we say that?
Yeah, that's his weakness, man. Is pass protection.
Why do we
Great operator is pass protection. So that's my thing. So now that's my thing. Is he the everyday? Is he gonna be the back that he can't protect?
That could be fun. That could be funny though. I think because if sometimes pass protection for a back depends on how good an O line is. Our O line much better than Oregon O line, Oregon State O line.
Explain. Go a little further. That's what you're saying. Explain that.
Like a back. He when the quarterback call the protection or whatever that he wants, a back he knows his job. But if an offensive lineman on the line, you got some weaknesses on the line. That he can only block. He can only do his job. So if he so sometimes he might get penalized, or it might look like he's bad in pass protection because there's weaknesses on the O line. So our O line is much better than that. So I think that could be subjective at times. So
I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with it. What I see from him is a guy that I think. I kind of see the opposite. I think with kind of things being uncertain about Fletcher right now, I don't think we have a back that could be on the field 3 downs. And I think with him, you got a guy that can prove he can carry a load. You know what I'm saying? Take a beating. I think he's pretty durable. And I think he doesn't have to come off the field on third down, and I think that's what teams are looking for.
Gotcha.
If it's
Go ahead.
pass protection is the part, he is going to have to come out.
Yeah, he can catch.
I hope he can catch. So, but pass protection is okay. Pass protection is effort, though. Like, let's be honest. Like, of course, you got to be smart enough to, if you know your place, you know your blitz, where to pick up your blitz at, right? And the rest of it is just the effort that you put in. I remember Knighton's first year wasn't good at, which most freshman running back aren't. He wasn't good at, and then after that, you started seeing him throwing his body into people. So, I mean, as long as he's gonna put in the effort, he'll be fine as a pass blocker. But we'll see.
I see. So you're looking at like glass half. Somebody in the comment section say Oregon State had one of the best offensive lines in the country last year. So
that's in a Pac-12.
Y'all kill me with this conference stuff, man. Y'all kill me with this conference stuff, man. Y'all really think these conferences are that much further apart, huh? I think the ACC beat the SEC this year head to head. I don't know. So I think he comes over here to a better situation, right? A better quarterback. If the offensive line was good, you know what I'm saying? You got a solid offensive line over here. So you're looking at it like glass half full. Like he comes over here and with that many carries, he'll do more. Is how you kind of looking at it, huh?
Yeah, I think he will.
I don't think he's gonna get that many carries.
He won't. He won't.
I think Mario likes this rotation of running backs, which is I do too, and that'll help Martinez going forward or whatever. So he has to be good in bunches as opposed to just thinking he's gonna get 30 carries in a game or something like that, which is better for him.
So who was the number 2 running back? Adam?
Who, for us?
Yeah.
AJ Allen and witness protection or some shit. Chris Johnson as of now. I don't know where AJ Allen. Where's AJ Allen? I don't know yet, though.
If they can work on Martinez blocking, he can't.
I guess in theory you could say that Chris Johnson and Hellcat probably won't get a heavy load because I mean they're smaller guys. You can put them in here and there. But between Allen, start out the season because Fletcher ain't gonna be able to play. So, I think Martinez and Allen rotation, you'll be seeing a lot of that.
Right.
And occasionally
Jordan too.
Who's that? Oh yeah. I forgot about him. Yeah, you got to work him in too. Yeah, I forgot about him.
I think too with pass protection. I think with our offensive line and our backs, I think part of that too is having a quarterback that ain't gonna hold that ball. That's gonna get it out, and I think we got that this year.
Yeah.
I think we just have to get Allen healthy, and I think they will complement each other nice. Because Allen got those feet. He just got to get healthy and he got to stay on the field. And he got.
And honestly, Allen does have a lot of big play potential. We've seen it every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a nice complement of backs between Martinez, Allen, and Johnson being the big time home run guy or whatever. It's just a matter of how Mario and Dawson are going to divvy up carries. Like I said, Martinez he's not coming over here to get those same carries. He got to Oregon State, but that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
I sure hope that they are able to get Chris Johnson like in a situation where they can get him out in the flats and just get him in an open field and just let him go. You know what I mean? Instead of these inside zone runs.
I see one of the comments say big up the streeter. Do you think one of the linebackers leaves since we added one? That's one of them Villans member questions, man. That's stuff we talk about behind closed doors. Inside the Villans membership. I'm trying to get X to put out another transfer portal list. Trying to update the first one we put out. But But I'll say this about what I see, because I had a long conversation to somebody today about college football and what we're looking at. You get a Citizen that leaves, a Hunt that leaves. You get Najee Kelly leaves. And then after Najee Kelly, a Jaden Wayne leaves. And you're like, well, Jaden Wayne, Najee Kelly just left. You would think that it was his turn, right? And then he leaves. I had heard that I had been talking to some people, and they say Jaden Wayne wasn't developing as fast. But also, you never know. You never know why these kids left. I mean, Jaden Wayne was a 5-star, wasn't
he? Yep.
Yeah, they may still be a coach.
This out,
huh?
Indeed, he was.
Right.
Yep.
So there may still be a coach out there somewhere that really loved him then, right? Because I remember the day Jaden Wayne committed, and I was on the way walking out the door, and I came back, and that boy was sitting up there with him, sitting up there with his mom and his dad, and we was all fired up. So there may be a coach out there that was recruiting him that still believes in him. You know what I'm saying? That's like, hey, nah, bro, listen, hey, what they doing for you over there? We got you. Come on over here. And that could be the reason he jumped in the transfer portal. It's a lot of different things. Chase
actually
great.
Yeah,
both of
he's supposed to be going to Washington.
Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what I was saying is we were talking today about it, and it seems like these coaches are just upgrading, or just bringing in competition and seeing who breaks. It seems like they're just upgrading to win now, because it seems like if it seems as if you win now, you get read up, you get your bag. I mean, Norvell brought in a whole bunch of transfer portals last year. We didn't know what was going on. The boy go 12-0. He faked like he going to Alabama. Boom, read up, bag. Michigan State coach, boom, bag. So it seems like these coaches are just, development isn't the focus anymore. And we could talk about that, Villans. The development isn't the focus anymore. But it's winning now. And if you could get a guy in here and pay him the same or close to what you're paying the guy that's there, and he has production, it seems like they're just upgrading and going. That's what it seemed like.
Well, I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. You
said
straight.
one thing I think if you want to be better, you got to recruit better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at NFL, they're always trying to draft the next guy to take over your spot, and college is becoming that. They're trying to recruit.
Right.
The next guy to take over your spot. It's clear that's going on with Miami. It's clear.
Right. And I'm no like, listen, I love competition. I think competition is what develop kids. I don't think it's the coaches stamping the kids saying I agree. I think competition what develop kids. You being afraid to come off the field because the person behind you is just as good. I think that's what develop kids. I see a comment in here, man. We can get into this. Did y'all think James would be drafted that late? Y'all heard James crying on that phone with them coaches? James didn't think James was going to be drafted that late. I don't know what happened to any of our players. Like Leonard Taylor all year long, they were saying was a first-round draft pick. Every mock draft I saw. Now, he went to the combine and shit the bed. James and Cam ran slow. But if you would have told me, even though I won $100, somebody told me James wasn't going to be drafted before the draft started, Cal. So I did actually win $100 on a bet. You know what I'm saying? But if you would have told me that Cam Kitchens goes late third, right, with all that production, and then all of our guys go 6th, 7th round, all of them, then Leonard Taylor doesn't get drafted, the old lineman don't get drafted, man, I would have took that bet any day. I would have never thought that was going to happen, man. Anybody in the Villans, man, y'all got any ideas of why do y'all think what happened?
Yeah, I do. Is he? I told y'all. I told y'all that motherfucking combine.
Go
The
get X,
motherfuckers
man.
ain't-
Y'all might go get X9.
And trust me, I'm like Coach Hayes right now. I got my cane juice. I got my cane juice right now. Listen, that shit was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I foresaw this shit happening because of that. When you don't show competition, you don't show that you're really competing on a big stage, man, listen, you ain't got shit coming, man. When you see what's the boy name? McCaffrey, Rice, quarterback turn wide receiver. Where did he go? Second round? Somebody correct me. Did he go second round? Third round? Early third round?
I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I ain't watched the draft.
Bro,
I think
it
late
just
second.
KB, I just heard you speak on it. When you talk about a running back with pass protection, that's effort. But damn it, Street, you done talk to him. When you know you got a test coming up 3 years prior,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
Where your effort at? Then when you get to the draft and you crying talking about, I should have got picked. No, the fuck you shouldn't have got picked early. Let me tell you, I said it. I said it last year. Leonard Taylor looked soft physically. He looks soft. His body looks soft. Nigga don't look like he doesn't train hard at all. If you 300 pounds in a Power 5 conference strength and conditioning program, bro, you supposed to look like it. That nigga looks soft. His body just looks smooth. He might well have been playing basketball. You deserve to go what is free agent signing, whatever the fuck it was. They deserve to go where they went. Bottom line, it's your effort.
I would say their draft positions went exactly how our season went. Disappointing as hell.
I think some of these guys. All right, so let me say this because we had this discussion the last time we were here, right? And all the things that I said to defend these guys, because I don't remember what I said, but all the things I said to defend some of these guys, I got to walk all that shit back. You know what I'm saying? But he is right. And we talked about that when he X was talking about it, right? He was talking about like the combine, and X was like, well, he don't care. He just want to get. And I'm like, yeah, he do care. And he should care because you do want to get drafted in a certain. Like it's stability. You do want to get drafted and get drafted as high as you can. Because if you're a third rounder, they're going to hang on to you a little bit longer, give you an opportunity if it takes you a little longer to get your shit going. 7th round undrafted, if you ain't come in and it's still like they don't like your promise or whatever, they're gonna just like that or whatever. So I'm with Heat, man. The combine, the combine testing, I think, is what did them all in. At least the top 3 who we were thinking about. I think with Cohen and Lee, it was just circumstance. Those guys they laid it out there on the field. They had good Senior Bowls and all that kind of stuff, and Senior Bowl practices. That was just circumstance. Like you could have bet me my whole paycheck that Cohen was gonna get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way I thought that Cohen wasn't gonna get drafted. That shit is crazy. But our big three, we talking James and Cam and LT. I'm not gonna throw dirt on them, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. But it's just like the street, yeah. Like y'all had all year y'all had a long time to prepare for this test. And I feel like y'all just went out there and failed the test. Like everything out there in the field, you guys play well and all y'all had y'all moments and shit. But when it came down for the biggest test, right, wrong, fair, foul, they put so much emphasis on that test, and y'all went out there and y'all laid the egg. That's all I can say about that.
I think what everybody keep talking about when they keep saying street. I spoke with a parent 3 years ago and told him, "Hey, listen, in 3 years, your son gonna have a test. It's gonna be 225 on the bench. It's gonna be a 40." You know what I'm saying? We already know what the test is. You knew what the test was. These kids know the test is in junior high school. We know what the test is. You don't gotta wait 3 months before it's time to go to the combine to train for the test. You don't. Running the 40 is just technique.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that
KB brought it up.
posted in the group me?
Oh, shout out to Al, yeah. Shout out to Al Blaze, man. I'm sorry, Rich. But shout out to Al Blaze, man. Y'all know we all proud of Blaze, but boy don't got signed. I had to put that in there. Shout out to Al Blaze. To the Jets.
Okay.
Well, he there with LT there, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to Al, bro.
LT went undrafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was an unrestricted free agent.
Okay. You know, earlier this week, the Villans was talking about, I think Rich brought it up, how Miami used to do so well in the combines. I mean, everybody that went to the combine was always prepared and always ready. And I think back on, all the players used to swear by Swayze. Remember, they used to talk about Swayze. They used to come back. They would skip their workouts with the NFL and come to the University of Miami and work out instead, just so that they can work out with Swayze. I don't know what the Smiths, strength and conditioning is now in that system. But for whatever it was way more effective than it seems to be right now in getting these guys ready for the draft. I know a lot of it's on the player, because as you said, Streeter, you for 3 years, that this is coming. You want to go to the NFL. This is your audition for the NFL, But at the same time, this is part of development that colleges do. You develop people and prepare these young men for life. And if they aspire to be football players, this is what you have to do to get drafted high in the National Football League.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to speak on what you just said. As far as the strength and conditioning comes on, let me ask y'all a question. I don't know if y'all pay attention to the all-season programs and when they all of a sudden put out these numbers for the players that they done reached the benchmark in the strength and conditioning program. But when's the last time? Think about this. When's the last time you heard of one of the quote-unquote alpha dogs on our team actually being one of the top testing number people on the team?
It's been a minute.
I said that for a reason. Okay, I remember. I don't know how old everybody is. I remember back when Tennessee had their run, when they had T. Martin, they had Jamal Lewis, and Al Wilson. I remember in that championship game, they was talking about Al Wilson and Jamal Lewis going back to back, competing, benching 400 plus. Starting running back, starting middle linebacker. This is in practice. This is before the combine. This is in the season. But for us, the only motherfuckers we hear about that actually give a fuck about testing well and giving it all in strength and condition is Logan Sagapoli, Marley Cook, these transfer people. So tell me why other programs That's why I said yesterday we was in the space last night or whatnot, and everybody was asking about somebody. I think it was Sean was saying they were talking about the receivers, and Sean was like, "Man, we need to give our young receivers that's on the roster the chance to do the thing." Da 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 da. And I agree with him to a degree, but at the same time, I think Mario is he's trying to cause rift position wise on a team to where, yeah, motherfucker, just because you fast, you ran a goddamn hand time 4.4 or 4.3 coming into school, and you think you the shit. He want to get several players that's running that. So now it comes down to intangibles now. Are you going to run crisp routes? Are you going to spend countless hours on the dug machine, get your hands right? Are you going to study in that film room? Because the physical ability is not just it. You got to have the intangibles too. So I think with LT, James, all of them, their prowess in high school, their position in high school had them boys thinking that they don't have to go as hard. They have to go as hard as the next people did. And that's the problem with us. That's the cultural problem that they're talking about.
And he coupled
They
that
want
in
to change the culture.
He coupled that in with NIL money, right? Like that adds to that.
Yeah, but I got a couple different things. So one, and I'm just gonna throw it out there first. I do personally think correct me if I'm wrong, because we even see it when it comes to rivals in 247 when they rate players that are we take a 5-star and then all of a sudden that 5-star becomes a 4-star when they go to Miami. I think that has something to do with the wins and losses too. Like I truly believe that if we're a 9-win season, if we beat Georgia Tech, I believe guys go a little bit higher. And it is what it is. That's part of the equation. But the other part of the equation,
I will go with that. But what did North Carolina rate this year? How many games did they win and lose this year?
I think they were between 7 and 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
around the same record.
What did Drake make go in the draft?
He went 3rd in the draft.
Okay,
but he was that guy. That's
I get it, bro. But we went 7 wins. Goddamn, Cam had I don't know how many fucking picks. He went 3rd round. So
check this out.
Fuck the wins and losses. It comes down to your effort. What you showing that you gonna compete. You on a large scale, man.
Did he lead the late
on
nation
a large
2
scale?
years in a row? He led the nation in INTs.
Well, let's. So the quarterback from North Carolina plays quarterback. That's number one. In this era right now of NFL football, quarterbacks are way overinflated in terms of their value. We all know that because we had arguably one of our best quarterbacks in Ken Dorsey. What round did Ken Dorsey go in?
7. It was like late 7th round, I think. 7.
Right. And you can't tell me he didn't put in effort and he didn't play. He did what he had to do. But the problem is we look at the quarterback position differently now than we did back then. Because we pretty much play flag football now, we really don't hit the quarterback. Everybody wants to go get a quarterback.
I would agree with you. I do agree with you. But the only problem is with that is everybody knows that the quarterback on defense is either your middle linebacker or your safety, dog.
Absolutely.
Everybody know that. Defense, yeah. So with Cam being who he has been, I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. If Cam had a save, if he had ran a 4.5 instead of a
they said it.
6'5",
True.
he would have
That's
probably
true.
went second round, bro.
That's
Early
true.
second.
Agreed. That's true.
Everybody said they were waiting on Cam to run no slower than a 4.55. They said
Yeah.
he runs a 4.5. He
Because
goes
that
probably even late
that
first
safety
round.
position is valued. It's valued damn near just as much as the quarterback, bro.
Not in the draft. Not in the draft.
Yeah, bro.
You do not
Yeah,
draft.
bro.
Not
In the draft.
No,
In the
no,
draft.
no, no,
In the
no,
draft.
no.
Watch this. Watch
An
this.
NFL
Watch this.
draft.
Watch this. 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 How many quarterbacks went between the second, third, and fourth round? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. None. Zero. 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 How many safeties went in that period of time? I'm gonna wait.
I'm sure a bunch.
Safety is valued just as much as quarterback. Safety is
So how many first
valued
round
just as
safety?
much
But
as
how many?
quarterback
So
because nowadays
it's not though.
because nowadays it's a passing league, dog. It's a pass.
But the draft shows you something. The draft shows you something different. Your value shows up in the round that you are drafted, not how many that are taken in a certain round necessarily, right? So you saw how many quarterbacks went in the first, and this is every year. We know there's a lot of quarterbacks that don't deserve to be in the first round. They go, right? How often do you see safeties getting picked in the first round? The value is not there. You don't pick you rarely pick safeties in the first round. So that value in the
also
NFL
like
draft is not there.
Okay.
Safety is also
true.
How many middle
linebackers?
linebackers? We go that two there. But remember, I said two positions.
Mm-hmm.
I said safety and middle linebacker.
Yeah, but
So how many middle linebackers went
in the
first
draft,
round?
in the
first
draft,
safety.
what happens?
Just as many quarterbacks.
Yeah, but what happens in the draft is if you watch the last couple of years, what happens is you have your top 5 people that they're trying to compete with. It can be a running back, a wide receiver. We knew quarterbacks was a hot commodity this year. We knew Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be a hot commodity. We knew the other wide receiver hot commodity this year. And the middle of the first round, they go all old tackles. Yeah. Unless you're a bona fide defensive tackle, they go trenches. So that's not going to be true. What happens is then your skill players, you just watch the draft. This is becoming a very much a norm. They go tackles heavy mid round, and then your second and third round get your running back, your wide receivers, and your safeties. So that's not actually true.
So they got everything to do with contracts.
Exactly. Your most valued players are your quarterbacks, your left tackle, and exactly. Yeah, and that's what it is. Like your Aaron Donalds, and it's like unless those are bona fide players like a Gregory Rousseau. So all skill players are dime a dozen. Look how many wide receivers and cornerbacks and all that stuff in the middle is like third. I think Cam fell where he's supposed to fell, but if he would have ran better, like you said,
he went much higher.
Exactly. So I mean, he fell where he's supposed to fall. Like all those safeties, cornerbacks, and all that, they start going in a second and third round.
And James should have picked a position, and he should have switched to linebacker sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than later in the
They told him the same thing happened to Ray Armstrong. He's Ray Armstrong all over again.
3 safeties taken in the second round, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fourth.
That's when they go. They usually go. Your skill guys go unless you are just this bona fide. And Cam led the nation 2 years in a row in picks. Was an consistent All-American 2 years in a row, but he fumbled the biggest test he was supposed to fumble.
In defense to what the brother was saying, though, I think in terms of after the draft is over, when you put together a football team, that safety is one of the most important players on the field.
I agree.
So after the
Yeah,
draft
just
is
like a
over,
guard.
that dude that you taking in the second round is the difference between winning and losing a lot of times.
I agree
agree.
with you, but this is kind of been a norm for the draft. That's why people.
No, no, you're right on the draft part. But what he was saying, I think he was in part saying the
I
importance
agree
of
with what he's
safety.
saying.
I
It's
think in
just
part,
this is just how GMs are choosing to build a roster, and
yeah,
It's about
unfortunately,
money. We
exactly.
see there's a wide receiver who signed a $32 million a year deal. I'm like, how the hell you pay a wide receiver that?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the era we in.
I don't think. I don't think you're gonna see half that money. That's just my opinion.
We just
It's
had a
hard
corner
not. I
get
mean,
drafted. We ain't think he's gonna get drafted.
If you look at position by positions, right? There's certain positions where you quote unquote you just find a guy that come in and fit what you're looking for. Safety is one of those positions, just like guard. That's why you see them go in the later rounds, and you see them go in bunches. Come and find a guy. But when it's certain positions, your quarterback, your tackle, your edges, they're looking for special. They're looking for it, like, because we can't just find a guy and expect him to come in and do those things. So that's kind of what happens with a position like Cam as well. Why he ends up in the 5th round, because the value for safety is not. Don't get it twisted. Like what he is saying is like when the shit's all said and done, just like William was just saying, when the shit's said and done, hell yeah, that's your most. That might be your most important position. You know what I'm saying? Out there, that's your signal caller out there on defense or whatever. Same thing with the line. Like, yeah, you don't get guards that high, but shit, going through a season and not have good guard play. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work out well for you. So just looking at it from the aesthetics of how they build teams, how they draft or whatever. It's just the value of the position for some of these guys. It sucks, but it's just kind of where we are.
And those who and so where Cam's money is going to be is in his second contract, so he got to prove it that he's a game-changing safety, and he's not just another safety. He's going to have to prove that he's a game-changing safety, not just a safety out there. I mean, he's going to have to prove that he's dang near Ed Reed out there, or he's.
But I think he will.
Not necessarily. He went to the right team.
He went
to the right team. I think he's going to have an opportunity to become the starter this upcoming season as the season progresses.
But when you talk about big money, like you talking about getting paid, he want to. When you talking about making a salary cap, he want to prove that he's Tori Palamahu or Ed Reed.
But that's the beauty.
Bag. Yeah,
that's the beauty of not going in the first round. In the first round, you're locked up for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go, the further you go, I think the second round is 3 years. The third round is like arbitrary. You could be on a 1-year deal, right? So depending on what you do right now, you could literally come out with a different contract going into year 2. So now you got some teams that'll be stingy and make you prove yourself again for a second year. But I mean, essentially, they're gonna pay him probably $1.5 million a year, and after 2 years, he's gonna have the opportunity to really cash in. So if he was a late first rounder, they'll pay him $5 million a year for 4 years, right? Ain't nothing you can do about it. That's what you're gonna get paid, because they don't have a reason not to pay you more, right? So it helped in a way because he could do different things with his contract, but you just don't have that guaranteed money. You just don't have that lump sum signing bonus. So there's things you don't get because you're not a first rounder. And by all means, looking at his numbers, He should have been the first rounder.
So this is I think this might have been what Q was alluding to. We're looking at these, I guess these draft analysis. I guess this is for after. So what they said about Cam, I'm looking at this. I don't know who wrote this or where this came from, right? So it says that Cam was our best prospect, decent football IQ, good tackler, and a ball hawk. However, he's slow for NFL safety, had a terrible workout at the combine, and plays undisciplined at times. Look back at the Georgia Tech game-winning TD. I think that's just a bunch of nitpicking, personally. Outside of the terrible workout, he did have a terrible workout. Now, there's nothing you can say about that. Decent football IQ.
He got burnt. He got burnt in that North Carolina game too.
Right. But they're saying decent football IQ is bullshit. We know that he has a high IQ. There were times it's not about necessarily playing undisciplined. It's you're trying to make plays. You know what I'm saying? When you make plays, you're not going to always do your assignment. You know what I'm saying? You gamble with that, and that's what playmakers do. Playmakers gamble or whatever. So I'm not taking up for them, but I'm just looking at some of these, post analysis of these players. Saying James Williams, athletic freak, won't play safety in the NFL. He'll play in the slot and be a hybrid linebacker. He was a poor tackler and doesn't have the best football IQ. Again, we start looking at, I don't know what we're jumping on here because there's nobody that's going to tell you James doesn't have a high IQ as a football player. That's bullshit. James is always around the ball. Don't say James doesn't have a high IQ. Poor tackler, we saw what happened, right? We saw him be hurt last year and it doesn't look good. But then you saw him this year trying to deliver his. Yeah, sometimes he does bring that shoulder too much, but yeah, I think we're starting to nitpick at certain things. We're staying on things we're riding, right? Like we're bringing up James, we're bringing up Cam Kitchens in the Georgia Tech game. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, we're gonna ride them. You know what I'm saying? How hard are we gonna ride the mistakes? Like, that doesn't overshadow all the good things that he did back there. I think that's bullshit. They got Cohen on here. It says Cohen. I'm a little surprised. Thought he was a solid guard, draft round 5 or so. Yeah, I don't know what happened there either. That's what the guy is saying. Matt Lee, this is the funny part. Matt Lee, great athleticism, great football IQ. He fell to the later rounds because he's also a small center, comparable to Jason Kelsey, drafted late as well. Of course, you're going to give the center the high football IQ, which if you're a center, you should have a high football IQ. Small was the debate we were having before we started this. He's 6'4", 295. And we ran down a list of centers, a small list, be it, and they were like 305. You know, somebody was 6'2", 305. Which of course is more compact and a little bigger. But that's not that big. Is that big of a difference? 6'4", 295 versus 6'3", 305, 6'2", like, yeah, I don't know. Y'all can enlighten me on that one.
He's also 6'4". I think I don't know what his bench press numbers were. So, but if you have offensive centers that are around 30 reps as being elite, that might be it. If he was around 22, 23 reps, they might question his size a little bit or his power. But I don't know what his bench press was. Cohen is a shocker because I personally think if he wears a red and white uniform, they draft him in the 5th round.
I agree.
He definitely would have got drafted coming out of Bama.
Yeah. That goes into the Discord we had the other night, where I feel like some of this stuff is on the university. I don't know if it's just 20 years of losing, and we've fallen that much into mediocrity where I really believe that NFL teams have gotten accustomed to just being like, just hold off on Miami. I think they send one scout, 1 or 2 representatives from every NFL team to come to our thing and say, go find the little golden chips. We'll get them undrafted or get them in the late rounds and bring them in, and the dudes end up getting a roster spot. And they
You know what, John? You're right. You are 100% right. You're 100% right, and I'm gonna chime in on that one because how else can you explain? And I know I mentioned safety and middle linebacker, but how else can you explain the middle linebacker for NC State? This motherfucker done had about 4 goddamn knee surgeries, but he reminds me of he's the closest thing I've seen outside of Luke Kuechly to Dan Morgan at Miami, meaning that bitch everywhere. He played with reckless abandon. He played with reckless abandon, and he gonna be there. But that goes to show you what I was telling y'all about the safety and the middle linebacker position. They would take a chance, injury or not, on those positions because of how important they are to line up a defense. And if you can line up a defense like NC State, for instance, they wasn't a high. They wasn't. It's not a team that's gonna get highly rated players every year. They're not a team that's gonna get that. They're a team that rely on coaching and development. So, like Sean's saying, it comes down to the school sometimes. So if the NFL looking at this school, when they looking at this coaching staff or the strength and conditioning program and what type of development they getting out of their players. When you look at it, I think his name was Martinez, I want to say. This motherfucker had, even though he done had 3-4 knee surgeries, it been had 130 something tackles. That motherfucker had 16 against us. He had 16 against us. So that right there is valuable. And then on top of that, even though he done had all these surgeries, he had the gall to step into the combine, knowing he been fucked up, and still ran high in the 40 at 6'4", 233. Come on, man. Ain't no excuse for my boys. I listen, I'm gonna ride with them. I'm gonna ride with them every day till they retire. But they gotta do fucking better, man. They gotta fucking do better. Ain't no ifs, ands, or
I
buts
want to
about
push
it.
back a little bit on the theory that they weren't drafted high because they came from Miami. I just find it hard to believe that an NFL team, a scout, a GM, whoever makes the call, gonna put their job on the line because of a school. They just didn't do what they needed to do in the combine and prepare themselves.
Oh, I absolutely believe so. Trent Richardson is a prime example, and I'm only saying this because I live in Indianapolis. I was so pissed off. I could have made a better deal than that. And I ain't never worked for NFL. That dude was, we traded like 4 years of first round capital for Trent Richardson that came out of Alabama. And because they had a stable of running backs that kept coming out, they swore up and down this dude was going to be him. And he was, and they gave him a bag. He was trash. I was like, that's a bad call.
But
Hey, one second. We got 12.
I think you can look at that every year in the draft and make a bad call on a pick.
And we got 1 second. We got 1,200 in here. Just a quick intermission. Y'all get y'all thoughts together. We got 1,200 in here, close to 1,300. Shout out to that. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Twitter, man, just follow. Go follow Footballville. Go follow Caneville. Appreciate y'all being in here this late. On a Saturday night. I don't know. Got nothing better doing Saturday night, but we in this thing. So I got a question from the comment section on YouTube. Somebody say, sorry for this being asked, but what do you guys think about building culture while also hiring a bunch of mercenaries? Y'all want to talk about that? Like, how do you build your culture, right? And develop your kids if you're bringing in guys every year? Can it happen? Is there a system out there like this where you've seen it happen like this? Who want to talk about that?
I think I'll take a quick stab at it. I think culture is just like blocking. It's about effort. And I believe that in the era where we are spending all this money, you got to have more coaches than usual now, because you can't be a program that only hires mercenaries. You got to be a program that develops too. And all of the optics make your program what it is. Not having guys drafted high is a bad look, because when those top tier recruits that you want to come to your school are looking at that, they might look at it and that might play a factor, right? So you got to have a balance of both, where you have a game plan for what you're going to do to develop guys, but you also have a game plan for guys that are going to come in and be those quote unquote hired mercenaries that you get from the transfer portal. So transfer portal's not going away, but you gotta be consistent with your culture, and you have to care. You got to get more bodies in the building so that you have both going on at the same time.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
I think, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like getting a bunch of mercenaries, especially like you said, when you're trying to build culture. I don't like it. However, I will say this. One thing I've noticed, and maybe it's different now, but I noticed over the years, the guys that we would bring in, the majority of them came in from better cultures than what we had. So it's actually been a positive when you go from Garrett teams, KJ Osborne, even when Rambo got here, these guys had a lot to say about the way the fucking program was and the culture was. It was all of it was negative, but it was negative so we can get to the positive. Guys coming over to show us how it should be done. I don't know if I would call those guys mercenaries though, but now it does seem like we're going after mercenaries. I will say this though. Mario's a very strong individual, a very strong, what am I trying to say? His aura that comes off. So I don't think Mario's going to let anybody come in here and fuck up his culture. Whatever his culture is, I don't see Mario and people come here and fuck it up. So again, I don't like it. I don't like the whole mercenary approach. But one thing I'm not worried about is somebody necessarily coming in and stepping on Mario's culture, whatever that may be.
I think bringing in mercenaries, it can be disruptive at times. I think Mario needs to be. I think he's getting better, but I think he needs to be a lot more selective. He tried to go get the guy from Michigan State. I think it was between his first and second year to do the transfer portal thing. But like I said, I still stand on the fact that I don't like what we're doing with the wide receiver thing. I think you got enough guys in there who want to compete, who are ready to compete. I think the only way you're gonna know what you have is if you go gain reps. I think sometimes you can almost send a bad message going to go get a guy that you think can help your program, a guy who can probably help your program has already been in the system for about 2 years. Unless you need that quality depth, or unless you're approaching this like the way FSU is, and it's just simply doing transfer portal, and then they're recruiting, then it works that way. But I think it can be disruptive at times. I don't like what we're doing with the portal right now, unless we get this deep tackle that's really gonna be good. I just think you're swapping bodies. It's like you're playing musical chairs with it, and it looks weird sometimes.
I think what Streeter said earlier, though, is something that I had wanted to touch on when you're talking about this subject, right? Because everybody likes to point at Florida State, right? But this is the thing. Well, number one, Mike Norvell can't fucking recruit, so he has to go to the portal. He got no fucking choice, right? But what are we trying to win here? To the way I look at it, and I keep repeating the same thing, this is not what the winners have done. and this is new to college football, so maybe we just haven't seen it done yet. Maybe this is the way it's going to go, right? The winners add whatever 1, 2, 3 game changes that they want to add, right? But the winners, your Georgias, your Bamas, your Texas, they fucking recruit well, and they keep their recruits and they develop them.
Right.
Those are the guys that we're chasing. So yeah, if we want to go 12-0 in the ACC and then not get invited to the dance or get to the dance to get our ass, well, cool. That's just my opinion from how it's been. Like I said, things may be changing. Shit, and if it's gonna be that way, we're gonna see it happen over in Colorado, because that's all Dion is lying on, right? But my just personal opinion, and the winners have had a head start. The winners are the guys that continue to recruit hard, develop hard, and they add pieces here and there. I think Ohio State is getting kind of desperate because Ryan Day is about to make his last stand, so he's kind of changing it up. But again, it depends on what we're trying to win. If we're trying to just look good, and I think in Miami that Norville shit doesn't work. What I'm saying is, if you win the ACC, that's great. Bitch, after that you got maybe 2 years to win a championship, but you finna get fired. Like Miami, we not happy with that. That's not gonna be Miami. As garbage as we've been for 20 years, we ain't finna settle for a 12-0 and then the next 2 years you don't win a championship. That's not gonna work. So that's my opinion on it.
I think part of culture is, I think about continuity too. And if you look, we thought we obviously had the quarterback, and if everything was right, you build your offense around that, and just developing the offensive line and bringing in recruits at wide receiver that way. But I think a lot of these programs, they had a great deal of continuity. Ohio State has a great deal of continuity. Like you said, they not only recruit, they hold on to their recruits. And for the most part, and the winning programs, I mean, Alabama, they hold on to their recruits for the most part. They're better players anyway. So if you have that continuity, and we've been sort of disjointed over the last 2 years, we're still kind of really starting to develop a foundation now. You know what I mean? So, but because he has this type of quarterback, it's probably the only reason why he's going out to get these mercenaries. But I think he really wants to build some continuity. I really think.
Yeah, and I think our kids are just young right now. We still got freshmen and sophomores and freshmen. Like, we're against the portal, but we only really sprinkled in with a few guys. Like, do you not want Kiko? Do you guys not want Derek Porter Jr.? Do you not want Jadice Davis? Like, those are starters. Like, we're relying on them guys right now, and we're going to be
now though. I think you talk about right now, though. It's like the way it's looking. It's looking like we're going at the depth pieces and more out of the portal as opposed to going to get started. That's just the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? We might be jumping on it, but it just looks like right now we're just like, fuck it, let's go get some guys out of the portal.
That's exactly
as opposed to the years before. Right. The years before we were finding starters. Now it doesn't look that way. But
wait, who depth piece that we got? Martinez was going to be a starter.
Who?
Okay, so is the lot? What's the linebacker? Coming over to be a starter?
Kobo, you even got a true freshman that they talking about could be a starter because he's flashing.
Does he not? Does he not replace the flag role like that linebacker from Louisville?
He replaces the flag role when we have Chase and Popo and Bobby and these guys that we trying to get on the field.
Bobby run a 4.3. Are you kidding me? You can't put him right there.
Right.
I mean, Robbie. Is it Robbie or? He runs a 4.3.
Bobby.
Yeah.
But also the D tackles. We're going to get more than one D tackle. And even if we get them, it's like, okay, so we get a D tackle, and it sounds like we're going to get more than one D tackle. But shit, what's the purpose of getting the first set of D tackles? What was the purpose of getting Cook and whatchamacallit? It's like, so now we're getting 4 D tackles out of the portal. And I'm not complaining, and I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about optics. It seems like now it's going to be like we doing depth and starters out of the portal. Just optics.
And let's remember, Damari Brown locked up for the most of the game. True freshman. game experience, game reps, and a big time game, a second round wide receiver that I still think is going to be a bust, but we'll see. But he's a second round wide receiver, and he locked him down as a true freshman without no prior game. He was thrust into competition without prior having a whole lot of game reps. But you saw what you had on that field, and that boy stood up. And it's like, I don't like what we're doing with that. Like you got kids that can do the job. To me, if you don't have faith in what you're doing on the roster, I'm looking at my coaching staff and I'm saying, okay, what are y'all doing to get him ready for year 2, year 3? Because it just doesn't make sense. You got Chase Smith, and I'm not against what we got from Louisville. I like his production, but I gotta ask my homeboy how good is he really? But you got Chase Smith who's ready. Why are we bringing in a portal guy? I don't get it. Why are you? And then what message are you sending in for future recruits? It just doesn't.
Chase,
I got a question. I got a question for y'all. You want to say something about Chase? Go ahead, and then I got a question for y'all.
Just saying he's pro. Can we rely on him the whole season?
Why not?
This is as healthy as he's been. Yeah, he's ready.
Why not? He never really. He got hurt one time.
He's worked his way back into shape. He spent 2 years getting ready. Mm-hmm.
So I got a question for y'all. Okay, so along the lines of what we're talking about, you got a Restrepo, you got a Jacoby George, 57 receptions, 864 yards, 8 touchdowns last year, average 15 yards a catch. And then you got a kid, let's just say, for instance, Sam Brown happens to be the next guy to sign. Let's just say, for instance, right? You got the wide receiver, Sam Brown, coming from Houston. 62 receptions, 815 yards. He averaged 13 yards a catch and 3 touchdowns, right? And I see people in the comment section saying Martinez is going to start, Sam Brown is going to start, right? Do you bring in a Sam Brown, right, and put him in front of a Jacoby, not or even a Horton? Do you stop Horton's development, who seem to be working out with Cam Ward every day, and bring a guy in? Or is it just causing competition, and it's like the best man wins? They take the feelings out of it. The best man wins, whatever. What y'all think about that? Like,
I think you put the best competition out there and let them decide it on the field.
Yeah, man.
Take your feelings out of it and let the best man
comp
win.
in the room. You got comp in the room though. Like
you can never have enough competition ever.
I was looking at this.
You stack on top of each other.
Kobe George had a better year than Sam
scholarships.
Brown. If you're looking at it, it's close. He had more catches. Kobe had more yards. Kobe had more touchdowns. Then you got a Horton who looks like he's ready to go, right? You just bring a guy in and you just put him in front of you know what I'm saying?
I think so. I mean, I don't think you can look at someone's stats the previous year and say, okay, well, because he caught 60 balls, we're not going to bring in somebody that is as good or better to compete with him. You talk about setting the culture. The culture is we're going to bring in the best at every position, and you're going to have to come in every single day and work for your time, period. That's how Miami gets to winning again, because that's how it was before. Forget this, because you caught the ball 50 times last year, you're going to be a starter. No, you're going to have to come out here and earn it every year, every day.
I think that's contradictory though, because your best was Jeremiah Smith. That's what you should.
I mean, we tried. We didn't get him though.
Not you don't go get a Sam. You recruit the high school. You recruit the position better every year at the high school.
I'm with you. I agree with you. But where
you don't
we
go
are
get
right
Sam
now,
Brown. I'm sorry.
So Street, I'm gonna ask you this: you was in Street, you did corrections, right? Law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you got to go and lead that person on. You got
You good, bro?
you gotta leave that person, or you gotta carry a loaded weapon, right?
Right.
You gonna prefer 8 rounds or 15?
15.
All right. So this motherfucker can play. Bring him on.
I like that, though. That
Point blank period.
that was a good one. That was a good one. I like it.
But I think so. It goes back to the original question because now you just kind of just bring it.
Oh, it's my fault. Okay.
Nah, you good. I think the computer something tripping. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh no, I'm trying to figure out why we wouldn't bring in more talent. We scared of someone transferring out. Like what's the problem?
So I think so. The question he was saying, and I agree with this. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you start bringing in mercenaries. You start bringing in guys. You saw what happened with Florida State, right? Y'all got to the end of the season, y'all had nobody to play because them niggas weren't here for. They were just here to get drafted. They felt like they ain't have nothing left to play for. You saw them go out there and get their head beat in because half their team ain't even show up. I'm not saying that's going to be the end result every time, but that's what happens when you start getting too many. You know what I'm saying? When you start getting so many mercenaries and so many transfers, are you bringing in guys that are bought in, or guys that are saying, man, I can get more TV time at Miami. I can get this, that, and the third in Miami. I get more money, I'm like, whatever, but they're not necessarily bought in. And then you know how it is. You start to bring in that type of you start to create that type of atmosphere. You coming in this year and there's 10 transfers walking on your team, and all of them have some kind of prominent role, and they already don't got paid. You know what I'm saying? How does that affect the rest of the locker room? What I'm saying is, you can bring in a guy and he can be cancerous to a locker room, not because he's a bad person, but because his ideology, he's a junior. You know what I'm saying? He's freshman around him. He's just like, oh no, bro, I'm trying to get drafted. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. You know what I'm saying? So that was the original question. He's just talking about bringing in mercenaries, guys that ain't really necessarily here for your program.
I understand that.
And I'm gonna go back to coaching, and I'm gonna stay with that one position because before KB got here, you had to go get what's my man from Buffalo is, he's on a second contract with Minnesota. You had to go get it because the room was garbage. But look at the development, man. Just the 2 years KB been here, and look at the infusion of talent. It's like you have to trust that coach that he's doing his thing, like he's bringing in the talent. Whereas the defensive line talent, now we got a good freshman class, but we still need maturity. So I would have thought 1 or 2, but you bringing in, technically you're supposed to be bringing in 2 starting caliber of players, but now you're bringing in 2 deep, and then to be reality, you really have brought in a 6 deep because you brought in 2 from last year that's still taking up space in the room that ain't doing it. Gore and Campbell, and then you got these 2 dudes that you brought in. It's and then you got Horton that's still waiting. You got my man from Chicago who's coming in that everybody's saying is going to be promising, which I can let them wait and develop. But you got Horton who's supposed to be ready to go because he's been in the program a year or 2 years, and it's like it doesn't make sense. He didn't do that to his O-line.
I'm gonna go into what you just said. I mean, you gotta know that KB will have a part to do in the Sam Brown thing, though. You know what I mean? I honestly think Mario would not have brought KB back if he wasn't gonna allow him reign. Over that department.
I don't know about that one.
Hold on. Follow what I'm saying.
Because I think this is an OC move.
Follow what I'm saying. Follow what I'm saying. You got an OC there that's over KB, right? But at the same time, you already know Mario at the top. He wants as much talent as possible. Now, this boy played under Shannon Dawson. So if he played under Shannon Dawson and KB, I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me because y'all probably a little closer to the shit. But
What's the question?
I would be hard pressed to believe that Shannon Dawson gonna bring somebody in that can't operate the way that KB coaches his receivers. And knowing the talent level of the guys that's in the receiver room already.
I don't think
I'm talking about relationship between Shannon Dawson and KB, not necessarily Mario.
I have a hard time believing that our OC understands the kind of talent that he has in his wide receiver room. I'm gonna stand on business with that.
I don't know if Shannon Dawson is cooking the meal and shopping for the groceries or just cooking the meal. I think he's just cooking the meal.
Right.
So there's a guy in the comment section.
That's what I was
There's a guy in
trying
the
to
comment
say,
section,
bro.
Born Hustler, right? But concept of what you're saying, he is right. Like I get what you're saying, but I don't think the hierarchy is built like that. I think, I don't think he's calling shots on who. When Cam Ward came here, he was surprised too. Put it that way. But listen, so there's a guy in the comment section, Born Hustler, man. I just kept reading his comments and he's talking about our sorry roster and what his Horton did, and we got to upgrade our roster. We got to keep upgrading our roster. For everybody who think that the Hurricanes are losing because of talent, right? Because we talk about this in the villain section all the time. If you think it's talent why the Hurricanes are losing, right? Let's think about some of the teams we lost to last year. Georgia Tech, NC State, North Carolina. Who else? Give me some more names. Rutgers. Rutgers. Who else we lost to last year?
Louisville and Florida State.
Louisville. And our rival, Florida State. For all y'all spewing about talent, we got to get more talent in here. You damn right you bring in talent, right? In the comment section. Do you think we lost to those teams because they were more talented than us?
All of them teams that you just named, all them teams you just named, had players going to draft before our players did.
Dog, listen. You do not rate. Okay, that's not how this shit works.
Except for Georgia Tech. Except for Georgia Tech.
So you're trying to tell me every player drafted before Cam Kitchens is better than Cam Kitchens? That's what you're telling me? Because we could put money on it now. And
I'm not saying that.
In 5 years.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the powers that be see it. I'm saying the powers that be obviously see it that way. The powers that be obviously see it that way.
Y'all. Okay, so fine. So fine. Any of those teams I named, right? Anybody in the comment section.
I mean, you can say the only team.
Let me use that same logic.
The only
Hey, listen, 1 second. Everybody in the comment section. Anybody, would you switch our roster with any of those teams we lost to, other than Florida State? Since we think it's talent, throw your roster on the ground and pick up Louisville shit. Or throw your roster on the ground and pick up.
I wouldn't even flop us with Florida State.
Huh?
I don't even think we were worse than Florida State.
It's not roster. It's not roster though, Street.
Huh? It's not the roster. Talk to me.
It's not roster. It's not roster, Street.
Okay.
It's individual players. It's the top dogs. It's the alpha dogs from those teams. So they alpha dogs that put out more than
what alpha dog did Florida State have?
Our roster is stronger than Florida.
Let them talk.
Let
them talk.
Let you finish.
Ain't gonna turn this into goddamn. Yeah, let them talk. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, our roster top to bottom is stronger. Our roster top to bottom, but they're alpha dogs. They're alpha dogs. Those teams, we ain't had nobody fucking with Jerry Verse. We ain't had nobody fucking with Braden Fisk for Florida State. We ain't had nobody fucking with the goddamn linebacker for NC State. Nobody.
He's right.
So
it's that
I don't believe that.
It's like,
I don't believe that.
well, you gotta look at the production.
What Jerry versus this year versus us?
You gotta believe what I'm saying. You just look at
when you talk alpha, you talk about somebody who's gonna step in, galvanize a team, and say, "Hey, we about to go get this dub." So
Trey
you telling
Benson ran through our motherfucking defense like we wasn't shit.
Let me see.
And
how many yards Trey Benson had? How many yards Don Chaney had? Let's see.
That motherfucker. No, I'm talking about that one goddamn play that he got there. He ran through our goddamn defense like it wasn't shit.
Was he mad at Mario for leaving his ass in Oregon? Yeah, he had a chip on his shoulder. I get it.
So what I'm saying is their particular alpha dogs for certain teams. Those certain teams, the Florida State, the NC State. Who else we mentioned? Even the Rutgers motherfucker, that little goddamn running back, I don't forget that bitch name, but that some bitch was hell.
Okay. So you saying you would trade our alpha dogs, James and Cam, right?
I would have traded. I would have traded. I put it like this. I would have traded Paris
for Trey Benson.
But that little motherfucker running back that they had. I'm gonna tell you now. That's what I'm saying.
Alpha is Dalvin Cook going against Miami in the fourth quarter, and he's saying we ain't gonna lose this. I'm at home. I'm in Miami. I'm from the 305. Put the ball in my hand, and I'm about to run it down their throat. That's alpha dog.
And
Rutgers
ain't alpha
dog,
bro.
That's not that.
Hold on, dog. I think you're missing what I'm saying. I'm gonna say again, like I mentioned before, the linebacker in NC State, when they played us, he said, I'm gonna stop these motherfuckers and we gonna win. And that bitch had 16 tackles.
He did.
I think that's an OC. I think that's an OC that don't know how to out one player on the other side. That's all it is.
Hey, so
you take him over Bang?
We got 1,500 in here.
No, he a linebacker though. He a linebacker. He ain't a D. He ain't a D.
Right. So you take him over.
But I would have took him. I'm gonna tell you right this. I would have took him over Kiko, and I love Kiko, but Kiko ain't fucking with that boy. Just keeping it a buck.
Who was the wide receiver?
This is the problem.
Go ahead.
So this is the problem because then if you're going to do that, then you have to go position by position, right? And it's never going to match up. It's never going to add up that other team had more at whatever position you want to call it.
Nope.
It's never going to match up. They had more or better than us, except maybe Florida State. So let's take Florida State out there, give us that one loss, right? So then I need you to do the same thing with Georgia Tech. Do it with NC State, who that shit was fucking pitiful what we did against NC State. Do it with Louisville, who coached us just up and down the field. You can't take those their quote unquote special players or alpha players versus ours spot for spot and say that they had better and they had more than us. You can't do it.
Right.
I didn't say that. I said that from the jump.
1 second. Give me an mention. 1 second. Hey, put the cane juice down. 1 second for a jump. So we got 15.
Top to bottom. Our roster top to bottom is better.
You can't hear me?
We hear you.
We got 1,500 in here, man. Y'all hit
this why y'all need to subscribe.
Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button and share. Listen, Florida State game. Trey Benson, 16 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Don Chaney, 12 carries, 85 yards.
Thank you.
How many touchdowns?
Not now.
How many touchdowns?
Not now.
How many touchdowns?
Not now. Yeah, no.
Okay, so them 14 points, let's be real, them 12 points that Trey Benson put up. Did that help beat us?
Yeah, because we had the guard. Here's the difference. We had the guard, Trey Benson and Travis Jordan and whatever the fucking that big tall ass receiver. We had Emory playing that goddamn game. All they had to do was push up. That's why Chaney couldn't get no touchdowns. So you got to put that in perspective. So again, I understand what you're saying about from spot to spot, from roster to roster, right? But again, when we go to Georgia Tech, I need you to pick out their dog versus our dog, whoever's going to be our dog, right? And it's the same thing with all those. So when you say, hold on. So when you say NC State and you talk about that linebacker, I can give you Kiko is going to give you that same type of reduction if you say that, even if you got to say that, even if you got to say that guy is a level above that, right? But then I got to say, okay, well, who's the defensive end on NC State that was giving them that bang production that we got out of Bang? Who was the guy from NC State? I think Cam dropped two interceptions that game. I think he ended up with one or two or whatever. Who's the safety for NC State that's gonna say that he did more than Cam that game? So again, it still goes back to every single game we lost. Our better players were still better than their better players, bro.
Listen, bro.
Nobody's trading.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with anybody about the roster.
Right.
What I'm saying is simply each one of those teams that you mentioned outside of Georgia Tech had a alpha dog that was drafted higher than any of our alpha dogs in the draft. That's what I am saying. That's what I'm saying.
What is
roster for roster, top to bottom.
So because they got drafted higher, right?
We supposed to have a better roster.
So because they got drafted higher, right? See, because the draft has a lot of shit going on.
We in Florida. We in the state of Florida. We supposed to have a better roster.
The draft has a lot going on. Like the draft isn't like this science of we're going to take the best player first and the worst player last. Teams are taking players by need, and it's a lot going on with the draft. I ain't gonna say I don't put a lot of onus in the draft, but yeah, we've seen them draft people first that was fucking horrible. It's not like it's a science for them. You know what I'm saying? Like what you saying in theory sounds cool, right? But if I put them two in front of you and was like, man, I got Cam Kitchen and you got fucking the safety for NC State, or like dog. That's not how this works. The reason I brought this up is this, because we're not losing because of talent. That's the whole question I asked Manny. We've out-recruited the whole Coastal for the last 10 years. Y'all have heard that over and over again. We've out-recruited the whole Coastal when Manny was here for 10 years. We had the most players in the NFL draft. We were second ACC with the most players in the NFL draft when Manny was here for the last 15 years. I'm going to tell y'all, it was never talent. The teams that we're losing to can't even match up with us talent-wise. It's not talent. It's not getting better players in here. That's not what it is. Now, we haven't had a major quarterback in a long time, and I don't know how we went so long without one of those. But dog, I debunked this years ago when I asked Manny the question and he went to fumbling and shit. It is not talent. Why are we losing to these damn teams? It's because we're not calling timeout when we're supposed to. It's because our culture isn't where there is. They have programs and we don't, because we always changing coaches and you know what I'm saying? We don't have any continuity. But it's not talent, bro.
It's one thing that he's forgetting. He's talking about who's drafted. Well, a team is comprised of more than just draft eligible players. So if you go depth chart wise, what we got and what they got, what we're looking at.
Hey, I'm not missing that, bro. I'm on that. What I'm telling y'all is simply what I'm gonna say it again.
Explain the concept.
I agree with.
Go ahead, explain it. Explain your concept.
I agree everything y'all saying.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with y'all when you come with the roster. I pay attention to recruiting every single year and have been for the last 25 years strong. I know who we got on the roster. What I'm telling y'all is it is not only, and it is coaches. It is coaches changing. It is that. But it's also the culture of the fucking players that we get in. It is also that too. These particular teams that are fucking, it's no coincidence, bro, that you got a player from NC State. Listen, man, Ed Reed was fucking not a high draft pick. Not draft pick, but he was not a high recruit out of high school. Ray Lewis wasn't a high recruit out of high school.
Those days are over.
Santana Moss wasn't a high recruit out of high school. It's the individual bro. Like you can have coaches all day, but coaches don't play the fucking game. Players play the fucking game. We have had mediocrity at the player position as well as the coaching position. Does that have a part? Does that have a part to play with camaraderie or coaches that can understand how to reach these players? Yes. Does it have an issue with players maybe thinking they're better than what they are and don't want to take coaching? Yes. It's all of those things. When you mix that shit up in a bowl, you end up with what the fuck we've had.
I love you, man. You say a lot of good stuff, but you're asking Emory Williams to go Willie Beeman on us against Florida State and change the play in the huddle, and that's
No.
not gonna
I'm not
happen,
asking
bro.
that. No, I'm not asking that, bro. I'm not asking that.
I mean, that's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying.
asking that.
Like,
I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that. What I'm saying is, dog, listen, bro. You can't expect a Ja'Cory Harris. You can't expect a Kyle Wright. You can't expect
All right, man. So listen, that's the end of our session. We're gonna go back into our Discord. We have 1,500 people in here, bro, watching. That's what's up. If you want to become a villain, man, we just let y'all see what we do in the Discord, how we do it, and we show it every now and then. If you want to become a villain, man, it's at the top of the Twitter. Is at the top of our Twitter, and I'm gonna put it in the description if you want to become a villain. We have a group me that has all the information in it, man. We put information in our group me faster than anybody. You know, we have a group me with a lot of information in it. It's going constantly 24 hours. And then we do these Discord sessions where we talk about a lot of things, not always just King football. Toss things around. Sometimes Hayes is in there, X is in there. So yeah, man, if you want to become a villain, I'll take the description. I'm going to put it in the comment section. It's different levels. You have a silver, bronze, and platinum. I'm going to put it in the comment section right now. And then I'll put it in the description also. We appreciate y'all, man. Even the people in the comment section that spam the comment section with silly stuff. We appreciate you too, man. Y'all help the analytics, man. All y'all help the analytics and the impressions, to be honest with you. Great conversation tonight. If y'all have any questions y'all want to ask, put it in the comment section. And we'll take a look at it and try to get to it and answer it. G Murto said we need more dogs. He was a dog. KJ Osborne was a dog. I don't know, man. I just asked myself, how many dogs did like Georgia Tech have when they beat us? So how many dogs did NC State have? That's my question. I asked Manny a question a long time ago, and I debunked the talent thing. Now, if you guys want to say, well, those are guys that just have stars, and that doesn't mean that they're more talented, well, then how else do you recruit? I mean, because if you're going to switch your stars with a team that has less stars, since you want to just talk about stars, you would never do it. You would never do it. You're like, nobody's going to throw down Miami roster in the ACC and pick up somebody else's roster. You talk that trash if you want to. We're losing to teams that are less talented than us. Jason Hooper said, I think KB made an excellent point about getting mercenaries for depth. Definitely something to consider for sure. Well, it looks like the transfer portal is just, it's like the transfer portal is depth, starters. I mean, it looks like it's a bit of everything. Cam Ward came in here and there wasn't a competition. He was Miami starter, period. And so it looks like the transfer portal, there's a lot of things going on with it. Hit me in the comment section, hit a thumbs up if I'm clear, because we've having some technical difficulties. So yeah, man. So everybody who's saying that, listen, we got to recruit a different type of kid, which is probably true. We got to recruit more Baines. If you can get more Baines in the room, then you are a better team. But I'm here to tell you, bro, like we're getting beat back. We're getting out coached in the ACC. It not out talented. Go look at some of our teams in 2017. Go look at how many. Go look at some of those teams and how many of those guys stuck in the NFL. We've had teams with like 4, 5, 6 NFL guys on the offense, 5 or 6 guys on the defense, and we were still 8, 9, 7. It's not talent. Once again, so everybody who thinks it's talent and we need to upgrade and get more dogs, we're not playing against Georgia, bro. We're not losing to Alabama. We're losing to NC State. Georgia Tech, dogfight. Now it's a conference game. They don't fear us. I get it. If we lose to Duke this year, it's over. Y'all thought the JB thing was something. I'm going ham. if Manny beats us after Manny losing to FIU, FIU is over. But no, bro, like it's not talent. It's not talent. We have more talent than the teams that we face. Case in point, how does NC State get Concepcion? I met the kid in person. Concepcion looks like a cornerback. Like he beat us. He was NC State's quarterback that night. How does NC State get Concepcion ready to play us, right? And we can't get up with our quarterback who was once high level. I'm not even gonna say first round anymore, but he was going to be drafted. You know what I'm saying? We can't get that guy ready to play and defeated NC State, but NC State can get a quarterback that was a wide receiver ready to beat us. Prepared for us to go in there Saturday and kick our ass with a better game plan. G. Murtho said, "Why are we losing to teams with less talent?" I think it has a lot to do with continuity, having a program, culture. I think Mario only been here 2 years. He's trying to build it. But I think we switched coaches too much. We don't have any continuity. We don't have a program, and he's trying to build one. He's trying to build a coach. He's trying to build a standard. That's why I think the University of Miami for a long time withheld resources. So I'll break it down like this: they would hire Manny Diaz, right? Which Manny Diaz was supposed to be Temple's coach. Y'all remember? Temple hired him. We don't go after the same coaches Temple go after, but for some reason in Miami we did. So we got Manny Diaz. So if Manny Diaz is at the level of what he should be at Temple, sharpening his coaching skills, and who is Manny Diaz going to hire? Probably people that are coaches that are under him, less than him, that will listen to him. So it kind of started there. It kind of started there with the resources they were putting into the program, the type of coaches they were going after. Like Mario is the best coach Miami have ever went after, other than Snellenberger. Yep, I said it. He's the best record. Miami rarely ever goes after a coach that's hot. And if they did, we'll name them. Jimmy Johnson, Erickson, these guys were just guys when they got here. They got here and saw a bunch of talent, and they were smart enough to use it. Yep, I said it. Jimmy Johnson, go look at their records before they came here. They were guys with probably some potential, got here and realized, holy shit, what is this? This is a talent meal. And they were brilliant enough to put it in motion because I think Schnellenberger had already set the standard. We've never hired a Mario Cristobal. We've never hired a coach that all the rest of the country wanted. Let me see. JRB. 1 second. 1 second. So JB Gaines did not have more talent last year. The roster had more higher ranking recruits that are busts, like the number 12 ranked 2022 class on paper, full of busts. JR Bar 2015. This is what I'm saying to you. It starts at the top. The coaches lead the troops. I was a United States Marine. The general, the captains led us. We were the troops. We don't lead them, right? So if you recruit a kid, you evaluate a kid, you talk to his mama, you watch his film, you eat the collard greens, and you bring him in your program. And if you bring him in your program, then you know who you just recruited. Then you know who you just recruited, right? Don't get him here, right? Because you just out recruited the rest of the ACC with these kids, and they get here and you saying they're bust. So you're telling me that the other colleges are recruiting lesser kids and hitting on all of them, like they're hitting at a higher clip with the less talented kids or with the less stars kids, and we're hitting on a lower clip at the kids with more stars. Yeah, I'm trying to put it in words for you. Like what you're saying is that what you're saying is that we're recruiting kids that are rated higher by these rankings, which none of it is even the NFL. None of it is a science, bro. Like nobody get it. Nobody gets it right 100% of the time. Not even the NFL. They drafted Ryan Leaf. They drafted a lot of motherfuckers that were bust. You're saying that our kids that we're recruiting that rank higher are busting at a higher rate than the kids that they're recruiting that we don't even recruit. Right. I just pause so you could think about what you're saying. Now you say other schools do more with less. They're out coaching us, bro. They have a culture, they have a system, they have continuity, and they're out coaching us. Now Mario had to come in here, fix a lot of things, and college football changed. It was exactly this one. I sat down, I talked to him, he said street, it was bad. It was bad when he got here. So okay, he's fixing it. But even he has underachieved since he's been here because he never should have won 5 games. He never should have won 7 last year. Both of those years should have been higher. But he's trying to build the culture. He's bringing in better kids. He's bringing in kids with the right type of kids, hard workers. Once you get those kids in your locker room, the culture changes. And I talked to Mike Rumford, Najee Davenport, and these guys, and Philip Buchanan. Nobody was telling them to go work out. Like they had a rigorous workout. They would do it on their own. Jim Erickson got here and looked at them and was like, "Man, y'all doing this on your own? This is crazy. What?" So he building a culture, bringing in better kids, better talent. That is what Mario is really good at. How we're losing the lesser teams because they go look at Louisville game. They outcoached us. They tight end us to death. They had our secondary confused. Some of these guys that went to Florida State, Miami didn't even look at them in the transfer portal. I mean, we like Sadiddy with it. Like we Sadiddy with it. We have a standard. Like we ain't even touching some of these dudes that Florida State touching. We walk around here with the Birkin bag and like we ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even looking at some of these dudes Florida State South over, bro. It's happening on Saturday, man. It's happening on Saturday. How does Virginia get their quarterback ready to come in here and beat us? And he wasn't even a Division I recruit. How? So we got on this. We started beating this dead horse because I just saw a lot of people in the comments saying it's talent. I put up the many questions on Twitter maybe a week ago when I asked them. I had the stats that we have out recruited the ACT for 10 years. Not like I'm saying last year we had more stars. No, what I was saying is it was something like we out recruited the Coastal for 10 or 15 years straight. We were number one. Something like that. Close. We had put more players in the NFL than any team in the ACC, not Florida State. And then he got stuck because I know he could have sworn that Clemson had put more players in the NFL. But they did. So that was a stat that I had in front of me. And Manning got stuck and he couldn't really answer it. And that wasn't my intention. You know what I'm saying? Because I was never a hard question guy. But he got stuck and then he started fumbling and then he just said, I don't know what answer you're looking for. I mean, I just wanted to know why. I wanted to know why we out recruited the Coastal for 10, 15 years straight, but can't win it. So what I'm saying is it's not talent. It's continuity, it's a culture, it's a winning attitude that has to be instilled by the adults in the room and the coaches in the room. And then it trickles down to the leaders, and then the leaders trickle it down to the underclassmen, and then now you have a well-oiled machine that runs on its own. But it has to be placed at the top. It has to start at the top and trickle down. Like I said, I was a United States Marine. I know how to take orders. I know what it looks like. Having a good quarterback can help too. And we haven't had a first-round quarterback in forever, which baffles me. But yeah, having a good quarterback sometimes can mask a lot of things. And I think we got that guy. Appreciate that, and Magic. I think we got that guy. I was trying to stand here, man, and talk with y'all till we get to 2,000, but it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna go jump in the Discord with my villains. Listen, here's the link to become a member, man. I'm telling you right now, we have the best member section. We have a lot of info. A lot of stuff that never gets out. Damian Martinez, that post was put out 9:00 this morning. We knew he was. We just put out the Black Santa because there's another one on the way. And shout out to the Hurricane and their staff, man, for jumping on this talent and creating competition. Because I think competition breeds. I think competition breeds development. I think that's how kids develop. So shout out to them for jumping on the transfer portal stuff and working it, bro. Watching Cam what this year should be a blast. Shout out to James Williams and Cam Kitchens. Those talents just need a chance. No matter what guys like they get drafted. Well, that would all shake itself out for James Williams and Cam Kitchens. Shout out to them for a long time since they were kids, and it's really good to see them go and do their thing. I'm about to go jump in the Discord with my villains, man. Here's the link to become a villain. I'm putting it in the comment section one more time. There's 3 different levels. You won't be what's the word? You won't be disappointed. I promise you. I'm D-Man, and I'm out of here.